Hi, my name is Jeff Boynton. I live in Los Angeles, California, and I've been circuit bending for 7 years. And I'm going to bend for you the CX500 keyboard, made somewhere in China and discovered in a thrift store in the San Fernando Valley. It's a little two-voice polyphonic keyboard with different sounds in it, different and different rhythms. And that's the basic gist of it. So what I do to begin my circuit bending process is I open up the keyboard, exposing the circuits, and I take a photo of the circuit board that includes all the components. And here we go. I bring the photo into Photoshop and I number all the points 1 through whatever, however many points there are on the circuit. I print out the photo with the numbers on it, and then I systematically short circuit each point to another until I've tried every combination. I go 1 to 2, 1 to 3, all the way to the end, 2 to 3, 2 to 4, all the way to the end. And I write down something descriptive when I find a cool sound. And once I've gone through everything, I pick out what I want, and I will hardwire that into an interface, and so these sounds can be activated at will. Okay, I have printed out my picture of the circuit board here with the numbering system that I came up with in Photoshop here, and I have already gone through and I've tried all the combinations, and and I've made my notes as to what I found. So, for example, this one here is I connected point 2 to point 19, and I wrote great feedback. And so what I'll demonstrate. I'm using a resistor box, so I'm not going straight with no resistance. Try to protect the circuit a little bit, but this is the great feedback that and I can dial in less and less of that as I add resistance. And the effect increases as I decrease resistance. Another point that I found that was really interesting here is point 19 to point 35. Which is like a guitar going through an amp with heavy distortion. So anyway, that's a couple of examples of what I found, but based on all this information that I found in the exploratory process, I'm going to design the physical interface. Okay, so I've completed my notes. This is all my exploratory process here, and I've gone through and eliminated things that I think are redundant, and I've decided that there's going to be 11 different bends on here, and each one is going to have a pot and a switch to activate it. So what I do is I go into Illustrator, and I've designed the breakout box that I'm going to have to use for this, because I don't have enough real estate on the keyboard itself to add all these. I've used Illustrator to create a drilling template. So these are the holes where the pots are going to go, and these are the holes for the switches. And then this is from my notes, and this indicates which 2 points are on the circuit are connected. So that's going to help me for when I do the actual wiring. So that's the next step. Okay, so now I'm building my breakout box, which I'm going to make out of wood and press board. So I'm going to build the frame out of this 3/4 by 3/4. The manly tools part. Yeah. The Illustrator drilling template that I showed you earlier. Okay, now that I've got my little breakout box built and painted, and this is going to go here, and the connections are going to come up through here for all the bends, and they're going to come up into my plexiglass panel, this acrylic panel. So I've already picked out all the pots of varying values that I need to make the bends work the way I want, and so now I'm just going to attach them to their places on the acrylic panel. What I'm doing here is I'm wiring note triggers from the circuit board to the 25-pin DIN connectors over here. So this will allow me to trigger notes from external sources, like a sequencer or a MIDI decoder. Okay. I've been at this for a while, so I might be coming unglued a little bit here. This always happens by this point. So, and I've done all the wiring for the breakout box. I realize I forgot to drill holes for the pitch pot, so I'm going to have to go back and do that, but right now these are all working. And I'm just attaching the plexiglass panel top to my breakout box. That is what I'm doing.